the DAC was set up initially to develop strategic sites within Ennis, part of the Ennis 2040 Economic and Spatial Strategy. So we've been looking at different sites over the last number of years, and since Gordon Daly came on as our new Chief Executive last year, he decided to set up an independent strategic review, which happened over the last number of months, and we had the results of that review yesterday, and we had very healthy debate in the Chamber regarding the future of the DAC, and the proposal is that it will be rebooted, I suppose, for want of a better word, and retained with the revised remit, which is focused on those 4 sites.
Would it be fair to say that it's a new strategy now?
I think that the strategy for it has been kind of narrowed, whereas I think a lot of things over the last few years, potential opportunities that happened around Ennis, maybe that's a job for the DAC, whereas now the DAC has got a defined role. That the sites that we have, they're quite broad, the usage of them. So that's just going to be the focus from now, and deliver on those and then see where we go next.
Do you think that mistakes were made at any stage, Mary, and perhaps could public opinion have been listened to more?
I think I don't like using the phrase mistakes have been made. In order to make any kind of a business decision or an economic decision, you have to go out into the market. You have to, that's the way business works. And this had a very strong economic focus at the beginning. We were working off our county development plan. There was opportunity sites and strategic sites recognised and categorised within that development plan. But I think that the DAC, an awful lot was expected of it. It did have a baptism of fire. There was a narrative around it that was not 100% correct. And it became very blurred as what its focus and its vision was going to be. Now we're quite clear that it is these 4 sites. Once these have been developed or a decision made on what we're going to do with them, how we progress them, then we'll progress to other sites. It's just, I think it became way too broad and too confusing. We've only a small team working on it of 3 people. I proudly sit on the board, and I'm delighted to be on the board of it, because I believe that this is a really important way forward. I'm born, bred and buttered here in Ennis. I really think we need to have something like this DAC focused on the town of Ennis. We're growing by 1.8% every year, our population. We need to plan for the future. Where are those young people going to be educated? Where are they going to work? Where are they going to live? Where are they going to shop and live their lives? So we need to have that vision. We need to have that focus.
The focus, as we said at the outset, is now on 4 sites: the former Boys National School, Ashfield House, the Francis Street area where housing is to be developed, and Claureen, where lands are to be activated for housing. Can you provide any further information on those projects, particularly on those first 2, the Boys National School and Ashfield House, where at the moment it's unclear to the public what the plans are?
Well, I suppose the thing is, being a member of the board, is that you can only discuss certain things in a public forum, because a lot of this is quite sensitive information. But certainly the Boys National School, that was a long drawn out process in order to access it. But it's 4.29 acres, literally in the middle of the town. It is a prominent position. The potential there is huge for what can happen there. It's a mixed use development is being looked at currently. That can be anything from retail space, parking, accommodation in some shape or form, whether that's housing, whether it's a hotel that for the town centre. It is a hugely important site, and I'm looking forward to some progress being made with that. Absolutely. Ashfield House, a number of items or a number of uses for that have been discussed. Again, we're getting, I suppose, expert opinion on what is needed and what's necessary for that, and how that site can be progressed.
The question that will be on a lot of people's minds is, will those 3 contentious sites, Abbey Street, Harvey's Quay and the Post Office Field, be left alone now in this revised iteration of the strategy?
Yes, they have been paused. They're no longer being focused on. Yes, any progress on those sites has stopped.
And just finally, Mary, on the €10 million loan approved by elected members for the Ennis 2040 DAC, we've learned now that €6.2 million of that has been drawn down, and we've been told that that will be repaid when the property assets purchased with the loan are activated. Do you have confidence that that will be repaid, given that it's a question that's been asked a lot, and at the moment it doesn't seem that any revenue is being generated by any of the assets of Ennis 2040?
Well, I think until we activate those sites and make a decision as to what's going to happen, Francis Street, we're looking at a number of different options for that, which would be affordable housing or low-cost housing in some shape or form. Ashfield House, obviously some kind of accommodation there. So absolutely, I have 100% faith that that money, 10 million is, out of a budget that we have in Clare County Council. We have a 200 million capital budget. That's only, I don't see a problem, and I don't, it's small money, I suppose. It sounds huge to you and I, ordinary people, but as regards corporately, I suppose, Clare County Council, that's only a small amount of money. And I have every faith that it will be paid back in its entirety, and that once these sites are activated, they will create, I suppose, its own money. It'll be self-financing after that, but it's just been a slow process in order to get the right economic climate and the right advice and to move along. And as I said, the whole Ennis 2040 DAC did have a baptism of fire initially, and it was very blurred as to what its focus was. We now have a very clear focus for the future.